for her verdict. November 17th is the D-Day. That's the coming Monday. So the next couple of days will be very crucial. Expect tensions, protests, and maybe even violence. In fact, overnight, 5 vehicles were torched in Dhaka. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Then today, the central office of the Awami League was attacked. The Awami League is the party of ex-Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. A group of 15 people lit a fire inside the building. Elsewhere, the BNP office was also attacked. That's the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the BNP, the party of Hasina's longtime rival, Khaleda Zia. This party, the BNP, is touted to win the upcoming election in Bangladesh. And their office in Barishal was also burnt. Put together, dozens of such attacks have been reported, including blasts at around 17 locations. So who's behind them? The interim regime is blaming the Awami League. What a shocker. They've arrested at least 46 leaders in a nationwide hunt. They're blaming Sheikh Hasina's party for this. Which brings us to today. Security was beefed up across Dhaka. Police officers were deployed near the tribunal. The situation was tense, but not violent. Only a handful of buses were seen on the streets. Private cars were virtually absent, and schools were open, but largely empty. In the evening, interim leader Muhammad Yunus addressed the nation. He made 2 crucial statements. One, there will be a referendum in February. It will be held on the same day as the national election. And what will people vote on? Some proposed constitutional changes. If a majority vote for them, for those changes, they will be adopted. That's the first announcement. Secondly, Yunus called for unity. He asked the political parties to put aside their differences. He urged them to display a united front.
We have decided, after considering all the factors, that the referendum will be held on the same day as the next parliamentary elections. We should not tarnish the glory of the unity that the countrymen built by standing tall in the face of death against fascism in July 2024 by engaging in petty disagreements and trivial disputes.
That's the thing about Muhammad Yunus. He speaks like a statesman, but his actions, they're quite the opposite. Meanwhile, Yunus's chief rival is also speaking out. That's former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. She fled to India in August last year after violent protests. In Delhi, Hasina has been largely silent. No interviews, no public appearances. She has lived a quiet life. But 15 months later, she is speaking out. Sheikh Hasina has given multiple interviews to the media, and she's spoken on a whole lot of issues. We'll focus on 3 of them. One, was there a foreign hand in the protests of 2024? That's a question that she's been asked and she's spoken about. Earlier, a letter had leaked. It was believed to have been written by Sheikh Hasina, and it did allude to American meddling. But she now says no, neither the US nor any other foreign power meddled in 2024.
We have always had good relationships with successive US administrations and have no reason to believe that the US government or other foreign powers were actively involved. President Trump, with whom I have very good relations, has publicly expressed his dislike of Yunus.
Secondly, what is Yunus's goal for Bangladesh? Hasina wanted a progressive, secular country. What does Muhammad Yunus want? Again, listen to what she said.
If Westerners think Yunus is a friendly face, they are being fooled. In fact, he is being used as the front man by the extremists in his administration, who are pursuing a sectarian, score-settling, and socially regressive domestic agenda.
She's right about that. Muhammad Yunus does appear to be a front. The real power lies with radical Islamist groups. And that's a flashpoint with India too. New Delhi has urged Dhaka to keep such elements in check to promote peace and secularism, but Yunus is going the Pakistan way. He's giving space to radical elements, which brings us to the third point. Does Hasina hope to return to Bangladesh one day? She says yes, but she has some conditions.
The most important condition for my return to Bangladesh is the same condition that the Bangladeshi people require: a return to participatory democracy. The interim administration must rescind its ban on the Awami League and allow elections that are free, fair, and inclusive.
Dhaka is not happy with Sheikh Hasina. They have summoned the Indian envoy to protest these interviews. Chances are things will escalate further next week. Once Hasina is convicted, Yunus will turn to India. He will put more pressure on New Delhi to extradite Sheikh Hasina. Like I said, this is a tense period. More than 15 months have passed since the horrible events of July 2024. I'm sure the people are hoping to move forward, but Mohammed Yunus will not let them. His politics depends on reopening old wounds. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most delusional of them all? In geopolitics, there's only one answer. Probe is intensifying. 8 suspects have been arrested so far. The NIA has taken over the investigation. That's the National Investigation Agency, the NIA. It's India's top counter-terrorism body. Like I said, they have held 8 suspects, all of whom have links with the interstate module, the same one that was busted hours before the blast in Delhi. They had stockpiled 2,900 kilos of explosive material. Most of the arrests happened in Jammu and Kashmir. Out of the 8 suspects, 2 are doctors. We told you about them last night. They were associates of Dr. Umar Mohammed, the man who is said to have been driving the car that blew up. Investigators are now focused on his role and motive. Did Umar Mohammed plan this explosion, or did he trigger the bomb by accident? That's the question they're looking at. Meanwhile, forensic teams have collected evidence from the blast site. Some preliminary reports are out. They indicate traces of 2 different types of explosives. One was ammonium nitrate. It's one of the world's most tightly monitored chemicals. It is used for controlled explosions in mines. Around 350 kilos of this chemical was seized by security officials when they busted the interstate terror module. So, did the bomb that exploded in Delhi come from the same stockpile? Again, investigators will try to answer this question. The other sample is of an unknown substance, and all the collected material has been sent for lab testing. The results will tell investigators the exact composition of the bomb. Plus, they're looking into a digital trail. This part features Telegram, the popular messaging app. Telegram, it's one of the world's most widely used internet platforms. Telegram has billions of users. It is believed that Dr. Umar Mohammed was one of them. Reports say that he was part of a radicalized doctors' network. The group was active on Telegram. They were coordinating through this app. Now, Telegram, as you would know, enables private messaging, but it lacks strict moderation. So, terrorist and extremist groups are believed to be active on it. This includes groups like the Islamic State and its factions. Apparently, they use this app to spread propaganda, raise funds, recruit members, and even plan attacks. And now the same app may have played a role in the Delhi blast, which is why authorities are looking into it. They're also in the process of identifying the victims. So far, the identities of 6 victims have been confirmed. This is one of the biggest challenges right now, in fact. In the aftermath of the blast, there was chaos. So tattoos, torn shirts, burnt jackets, these were the clues that family used to recognize their loved ones. The Delhi government has announced compensation for the victims. A high-level review into the investigation also kicked off today, and this one is being led by Prime Minister Modi himself. He returned from Bhutan earlier today, and he visited the blast survivors in hospital. Later in the day, he chaired a meeting of the CCS, the Cabinet Committee on Security. This is India's top decision-making body on national security. The Prime Minister reviewed the investigation into the Delhi blast. He was briefed on the status of the probe. Union Home Minister Amit Shah presented a detailed report. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar were all present. They are also part of the CCS.
The country has witnessed a heinous terror incident perpetrated by anti-national forces through a car explosion near the Red Fort on the evening of 10th November 2025. The explosion resulted in multiple fatalities and caused injuries to several others. The cabinet unequivocally condemns this dastardly and cowardly act that has led to the loss of innocent lives. The cabinet reiterates India's unwavering commitment to a policy of zero tolerance towards terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. The cabinet directs that the investigation into the incident be pursued with the utmost urgency and professionalism so that the perpetrators, their collaborators, and their sponsors are identified and brought to justice without delay. The situation continues to be closely monitored at the highest levels of the government.
So there are two clear priorities as of now: the progress of the investigation and the security measures being taken in its aftermath. As more details emerge, expect the government to act quickly. Remember, India's capital has been targeted for the first time in 13 years. A strong response is expected. This was Delhi's first terror attack in 13 years. But this wasn't an isolated incident. In the last 48 hours, multiple cases have surfaced across India, all related to terrorism. They happen in different states, they involve different methods. But when you connect the dots, you see a disturbing pattern emerge. We've already told you about yesterday's raids and how the Red Fort blast may be linked to them. 2 doctors were arrested in the raids and nearly 3 tons of explosive material was seized. Again, this operation spanned multiple Indian states. Apart from the explosives, investigators also recovered deadly weapons like AK-47 guns, pistols, and assault rifles. A resident of Lucknow was also arrested. Her name is Dr. Shaheen Shahid. She too was a doctor with links to the cell operating out of Faridabad. Reports say the police recovered an assault rifle from her. And while this raid and the blast in Delhi dominated the headlines, another operation was underway. This was in India's western state of Gujarat. Gujarat's anti-terror squad arrested 3 men. Among them was a doctor. He had a medical degree from China, and reports say that he was trying to make a chemical weapon. Now, this group, the one operating in Gujarat, was trying to make ricin. It's one of the deadliest poisons on earth. Ricin is made from castor beans. Even a tiny amount can be fatal. There is no known antidote. The treatment only focuses on keeping the victim alive and offering supportive care. Ricin is among the most restricted substances in the world. Its use, storage, and transport are tightly controlled. Now, this group in Gujarat was trying to manufacture it. Where did they plan to use it? Apparently, they conducted a recce in 3 cities: Ahmedabad, the most populous city of Gujarat; Lucknow, the capital of Uttar Pradesh, one of the largest states of India; and Delhi, which is the national capital. These 3 cities were on their radar. When this group was caught, investigators found 3 pistols on them, also 30 cartridges, and nearly 4 liters of castor oil. This group is said to have had links with the ISKP, the Islamic State Khorasan province. It's a regional offshoot of ISIS operating out of Afghanistan, ISKP. And how did these people in Gujarat get the weapons? Investigators say the weapons were delivered using drones. They were dropped across the Pakistan border at a secret pickup site. Now let's look at all the 3 events together: the blast in Delhi, the raids in Faridabad and Jammu and Kashmir, and the crackdown in Gujarat. Is there a connection? So far, no clear link has emerged, but there are similarities that are hard to miss. Each case involved doctors. Their credentials gave them cover. Each operation was spread over multiple states, from Kashmir to Faridabad, from Uttar Pradesh to Gujarat. This could have been a pan-India operation. The methods were sophisticated. expertise to make chemical agents, drone-enabled arms drops, and industrial-grade explosives. This is not the old model of terrorism, where a single organization coordinated attacks from across the border. This is one professional, decentralized, and adaptive group with multiple cells. There are small terror cells involving just 3 to 7 people. They hide in plain sight. You can arrest one cell, you can neutralize the second one, but the third one can still strike because the threat is no longer coming from a single concentrated source. The threat is distributed. This is India's new security challenge, and it demands a new playbook. It was a tense Thursday in Dhaka, very little traffic, very few people on the streets, and a lot of police presence. Dhaka did not look like a bustling Asian capital city, it looked like a city under siege. Why? All because of a sham trial. The trial of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Her case is being heard by a special tribunal in Dhaka. Hasina and her ministers face charges of murder and genocide. If convicted, they could get the death penalty. And that conviction could come soon. Today, the tribunal set the date for her verdict. November 17th is the D-Day. That's the coming Monday. So the next couple of days will be very crucial. Expect tensions, protests, and maybe even violence. In fact, you're already seeing it. Overnight, 5 vehicles were torched in Dhaka. Thankfully, no one was hurt. Then today, the central office of the Awami League was attacked. The Awami League is the party of ex-Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. A group of 15 people lit a fire inside the building. Elsewhere, the BNP office was also attacked. That's the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, the BNP, the party of Hasina's longtime rival, Khaleda Zia. This party, the BNP, is touted to win the upcoming election in Bangladesh. And their office in Barishal was also burnt. Put together, dozens of such attacks have been reported, including blasts at around 17 locations. So who's behind them? The interim regime is blaming the Awami League. What a shocker. They've arrested at least 46 leaders in a nationwide hunt. They're blaming Sheikh Hasina's party for this. Which brings us to today. Security was beefed up across Dhaka. Police officers were deployed near the tribunal. The situation was tense, but not violent. Only a handful of buses were seen on the streets. Private cars were virtually absent, and schools were open but largely empty.